तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and we are in the conversations of March 23, 1884. And the arm is still under pain, and Master has no body consciousness. And then Ram says that the Brahmos have published something about you in their magazine. So Thakur says, published about me? Why? Why should they write now? Now means when his arm is broken. So he means that body breaking, making is not connected with his divinity. So now when the arm is broken, they are published. So that means that they feel something about me in spite of my arm being broken. And then he says, I eat and drink and make merry. I don't know anything else. So I am not saying that about me. I live just like an ordinary man. It does not come and declare I am an incarnation. He tries to behave just like an ordinary man, but he cannot always do so. His inner consciousness shows now and then. So they have published. So connect all these things, that he does not claim that he is somebody divine. Similar to Ramachandra, when after killing Ravana, he used harsh words for Sita, that you go wherever you like. So Sita could not bear it. She asked Lakshmana to light a fire for her. At that point of time, all the gods led by Brahma came there and asked Rama, don't you know who you are? He said, yes, I know. Atmanam manusham manne Ramam Dasharathatmajam. I hold myself to be a man, the son of Dasharatha. So, the avatar does not go on claiming that he is an avatar. In Nagpur, there was an avatar, do you know? He might have been a big man. Parsi, Meher Baba. And his very name, as his devotees used to call during his lifetime, Avatar Meher Baba. So they had put that avatar as his upadhi. But avatar is God himself behaving like a man. That is avatar. Always he cannot behave like a man, but he tries to behave like a man. So that is what I is telling. I eat and drink and be merry, and especially my arm is injured now. And they publish something. I once asked Keshav in those days, why have you written about me? So that being written about him is not new. But at that time the Brahmos have published. He said that it would bring people here. But man cannot teach by his own power. One cannot conquer ignorance without the power of God. So unless he conquers his ignorance, how can he teach? And he does not conquer his ignorance by his power, because he himself is a product of the ignorance that we should understand. This I am so and so is out of the Maya of God that we are separate. So how can by our power we gain God? We have to struggle. There is no upaya. We must struggle. But final destination happens only by grace of God. God wills that the play in this body is as ignorant is sufficiently done. Let there be knowledge in this body, then only man. So this one has to understand. It does not ask us not to practice sadhana, but we should understand that by my sadhana, I am not going to realize God. Let me do sadhana, what else shall I do? If not attempt to realize my real nature, should I only spend life vegetating life like a blind man? So I must try that. But when it comes or when it is about to come, one should never think that by his effort it has come. How it has come? God has manifested himself. Now he's giving an example. At one time, two men were engaged to wrestle. One of them was Hanuman Singh. He was the gatekeeper at Dakshineshwar. And to take away his post, you may say, another had come. And it was decided, let them wrestle, and who wins will be appointed. And the other, a Mohammedan, a Musalman from the Punjab. Musalman from the Punjab, you understand? They are very hefty, well built. The Musalman was a strong, stout man. He had eaten lustily of butter and meat for 15 days before the day of the wrestling match. And even on that day, all thought he would be the victor. Hanuman Singh, on the other hand, clad in a dirty cloth, had eaten sparingly for some days before the day of the match and devoted himself in repeating the holy name of Mahavir, Hanuman. On the day of the match, he observed a complete fast. See the contrast? All thought that he would surely be defeated, but it was he who won. So whose power? By his power. You clearly see their powers as they appear. While the man who had feasted for 15 days lost the fight. So all this goes to show that not by man's power. So the extremes are shown. What is the use of printing and advertising? So by your power you think you are going to raise me. He who teaches men gets his power from God. So God himself will make Thakur known to people. You need not. None but a man of renunciation can teach others. The main thing is this. The Brahmos never prescribed renunciation. They were all married leaders. I am the greatest of all fools. That means I do not know many things. I consider myself to be only the instrument of God. I do not consider myself to be a wise person. All laugh. They like that. Huh? A devotee. Then how is it that Vedas and the Vedanta and many things besides come out of your mouth if you are a fool? Master smiling. During my boyhood, I could understand what the sadhus read at the last house at Kamarpukur, although I would miss a little here and there. So he's telling now inherent power. And he's not claiming I knew everything. As a small child, if a Pandit speaks to me in Sanskrit, I can follow him. But I cannot speak it myself. So he has not practiced speaking in Sanskrit. But how does he know that language? If people talk in Sanskrit, he can understand. So all this is divine. To realize God is the one goal of life that he understands. While aiming his snow at the mark, while aiming his arrow at the mark, Arjuna said, I see only the eye of the bird and nothing else. Not the kings, not the trees, not even the bird itself. This incident has come many times. Dronacharya, after teaching all Pandavas and Kauravas, was examining them. And he had put an artificial bird on a tree at a great distance. And he's asking everyone, what do you see? Do you see me? Yes. Then disqualified. Do you see the tree? Then disqualified. And when Arjuna's turn came, Arjuna said, I do not see you. I do not see the tree. I do not see that bird. I see only the eye of the bird. So because of that concentration, he is called the greatest archer. Now Thakur is giving this example, that God is the only essence of the world. And you should be devoted to him, you should know him. That's all. The realization of God is enough for me. So the aim of life is realization of God. What happens afterwards, that is God's concern. What does it matter if I don't know Sanskrit? So he's not sorry to feel that because he does not know Sanskrit. People ask me, I remember in Rishikesh and everywhere, is it necessary to study Sanskrit? I said, no. You can read the translation of scriptures in any language. But if you want to know each word and if you want to teach others, then you must know it. The grace of God falls alike on all his children. Now he's telling by grace of God. So now he's telling it falls on all his children. Whoever longs for him, that is the condition. Grace on all people, those who long for him. The father has the same love for all his children. Suppose a father has 5 children. One calls him Baba, some Ba, and some Pa. These last cannot pronounce the whole word. Does the father love those who address him as Baba more than those who call him Pa? The father knows that these last are simply too young to say Baba correctly. So father understands to whom he is calling. So God understands yearning. It is not that you require to pray in Sanskrit. Since this injury to my arm, a change has been coming over my mind. I have been feeling much inclined to the Naralila. It is God himself who plays about as human beings. If God can be worshipped through a clay image, then why not through a man? Because man is conscious. Because man is struggling compared to animals. And even in clay image, we invoke God and worship him and feel him there. So why can't you feel in man? So there, because of his arm breaking, he is come to that stage. On the Swamiji has built up. Once a merchant was shipwrecked. He floated to the shore of Ceylon, Sri Lanka. In Nikhilanji's time, it used to be called Ceylon. So they can change it now if they like. Thakur did not say Ceylon. Lanka. Where Vibhishana was the king of the monsters. So Lanka was Asuras, and after Ravan died, Vibhishana was made the king by Rama, and Vibhishana is ruling eternally. So in that concept, this is being taught. Vibhishana ordered his servants to bring the merchant to him. At the sight of him, Vibhishana was overwhelmed with joy and said, "Ah, he looks like my Rama." The same human form. He adorned the merchant with robes and jewels and worshipped him. So, he was not attached. He did not ask him to stay there. But same form. When I first heard this story, I felt such joy that I cannot describe it. So, through any association, mind thinks of God. Vaishnacharan said to me, Vaishnacharan was a Vaishnava scholar and also a sadhaka. And he was among the first who could recognize Thakur. And Thakur's habit that he knows everything. But if he has heard from somebody, he gives due credit to him. I'll tell you a very funny thing. There is a Kailash ashram in Rishikesh. And to glorify themselves, they said what Vivekananda did, studied here and spoke in America. And in a Sanskrit article written in their some Shatabdi or some issue, they have written that even Thakur studied here. And Swamiji never studied there. Swamiji was friend with Dandarajgiri. And Abhedanand Swami studied there. So from that they have built up any imagination to glorify this. Now Thakur himself studied there. And they asked, if Vivekananda did not study here, where did he learn Vedanta? As if to learn Vedanta, everybody has to go to Dandarajgiri. So that is called Kupa Manduka Vritti. That mind becomes so narrow. He finds it very easy to direct his mind to God. And Vaishnacharan said to me, if a person looks upon his beloved as his Ishta, he finds it very easy to direct his mind to God. The men and women of a particular sect at Shambhadar, near Kamarpukur, Karta Bhajan Navarasika, say to each other, whom do you love? I love so and so. Then know him to be your God. When I heard this, I said to them, that is not my way. Because women and men mix there freely. I look on all women as my mother. I found out that they talk big but led immoral lives. The woman then asked me if they would have salvation. Yes, I said, if you are absolutely faithful to one man and look on him as your God, but you cannot be liberated if you live with 5 men. So he told directly. So accept the principle, but not the use they are making. Ram, I understand that Keshav Babu has recently visited the Karta Bhaja place. Thakur talked about it. Master, he gathers honey from various flowers. So he has taken some essence from them. To Ram, Nitya Gopal and the others. If a devotee believes 100% that his chosen ideal is God, then he attains God and sees him. So all this is a question of avyabhichari. 100%, 100%, 100%. People of bygone generations had tremendous faith. What faith Haldari's father had. Now here we shall see in these descriptions a little mix-up, whether it is deliberate, whether Thakur saw all are same, or he talked like that, because we know that his this incident is about Thakur's father. What faith Haladari's father had. Once he was on the way to his daughter's house, or maybe Master Masha is not noted correctly. We do not know. When he noticed some beautiful flowers and bilva leaves, he gathered them for the worship of the family deity and walked back 5 or 6 miles to his own house. So this is all about Sri Ramakrishna's father.
Is it mentioned somewhere?
Huh?
Why you say Thakur's father?
You see, Ramchand was his nephew. And Ramchand used to stay in a distant place, Midnapur. And Ramchand used to send him 15 rupees per month. But that was under consideration. Because he loved Ramlal, he now and then used to go to visit him and see how he is, if no news came for some days. Now, those were the days like this, Patajhada. So in Kamarpukur, he was not getting, flowers are not meant here, bilva leaves. And he used to worship Shiva and Shitla Devi every day with bilva leaves. Now he was going to Ramchand's house. And he has started early morning. He has reached a town when the sun is already hot. But there he found a bilva tree having new leaves. He forgot all about Ramchand and everything. Not emotionally forgot, because he went to the village, purchased a new basket, a new towel, soaked that towel in water and plucked bilva leaves and covered them with the towel and came back to Kamar and started, as he came, he started worshipping Shiva. When the worship was over, his wife asked him, what about Ramchand? He said, okay, I shall go another day. That is the story. Thakur is giving this as an example of faith. Once a theatrical troupe in the village was enacting the life of Ram. This is about Haldari's father. When Kaikeyi asked Rama to go into exile in the forest, Haldari's father, who had been watching the performance, sprang up. He went to the actor who played Kaikeyi, crying out, "You wretch!" and was about to burn the actor's face with a torch. He was a very pious man. After finishing his ablutions, again back to Thakur's father. After finishing his ablutions, he would stand in the water and meditate on the deity, reciting for the invocation, "I meditate on thee of red hue and 4 faces," while tears streamed down his cheeks. 4 faces generally Brahma has. Huh? मेयर बड़ी अच्छी हो. So what we have read in Leela Prasanga is like this.
Oh.
But it is a different version. And fool is mentioned, Belpul.
Belpul is not a bell.
No, Belpul is Mogra, what is called Mogra in Hindi, Jasmine in English, is Belpul in Bengali. So Belpul and Belpata. So is this another incident? मेयर बड़ी अच्छी রাস্তায় বেলপুল আর বেলপাতা চমৎকার হয়ে রয়েছে দেখে ঠাকুরের সেবার জন্য সেই সব নিয়ে 2-3 ক্রোশ পথ ফিরে তার বাড়ি এলো. স্নান করবার পর যখন জলে দাঁড়িয়ে রক্তবর্ণম চতুর্মুখম এইসব বলে ধ্যান করত তখন চক্ষু জলে ভেসে যেত. When my father walked along the lanes of the village wearing his wooden sandals, the shopkeepers would stand up out of respect and say, "There he comes." When he bathed in the Aldar Pukur, the pond, prescribed pond for bathing at Kamar Pukur, the villagers would not have the courage to get into the water. Before bathing, they would inquire if he had finished his bath. Then they would take. When my father chanted the name of Raghuveer, his chest would turn crimson. This also happened to me, so he finds a similarity. When I saw the cows at Vrindavan returning from the pasture, I was transported into a divine mood and my body became red. Very strong was the faith of the people in those days. Rare, huh? One hears that God used to dance then, taking the form of Kali, while the devotee clapped his hands keeping time. So that's such devotion, and God pleased with them. Now, different, huh? A Hat Yogi was staying in the hut at the Panchavati. Hat Yogi, this so-called yoga related to body only, and by simple application of will they do something, so Hatha Yogi. Hatha is the determination. Ram Prasanna, the son of Krishna Kishore of Aryada, whom Thakur loved very much because of his faith, and several other men had become his devotees. The yogi needed 25 rupees a month. In those days, for his milk and opium. So Ram Prasanna had requested Sri Ramakrishna to speak to his devotees about the yogi. Anything of anything, and get some money. The master said to several devotees, "A Hat Yogi has come to the Panchavati. Go and visit him. See what sort of a man he is." So Thakur won't prescribe money, but he will also not say no. You go and see. A young man of 27 or 28, known as Thakur Dada, entered the room with a few friends and saluted the master. So that Hat Yogi is left to himself. He lived at Varanagar. Master Masha is faithfully recording everything. And was the son of a Brahmin Pandit. He was practicing the Kathākatha in order to earn money. Kathākatha is storytelling in Bengali, accompanied by many songs, acting, etc. So they have to learn it. They have to get trained into it. In order to earn money to meet his family's expenses. At one time, he had been seized with the spirit of renunciation and had gone away from his family. Even now, he practiced spiritual discipline at home. So, oh, this is all about Thakur Dada. Huh? So, some sadhana, some worldly gain. Huh? Master, have you common food? Where do you live? Dada, yes, sir. I walk from home. I live at Baranagar. Not far away. Huh? Master, have you come here for any particular purpose? Dada, I have come here to visit you. I pray to God. But why do I suffer now and then from worries? For a few days I feel very happy. Why do I feel restless afterwards? So he has come to express his difficulty. Thakur is Bhavaroga Vaidya. Master, I see. Things have not been fitted quite exactly. The machine works smoothly if the mechanic fits the cogs of the wheels correctly. In your case, there is an obstruction somewhere. So, somewhere, Dada, yes, sir, that must be so. Master, are you initiated? Dada, yes, sir. Master, do you have faith in your mantra? A friend of Thakur Dada said that the latter could sing well. Before this question could be answered. Huh? The master asked him to sing. Thakur Dada sang. I shall become a yogi and dwell in love's mountain cave. I shall be lost in yoga beside the fountainhead of bliss. I shall appease my hunger for knowledge with the fruit of truth. I shall worship the feet of God with the flower of dispassion. I shall not seek a well to slake the burning thirst of my heart, but I shall draw the water of peace into the jar of my soul. Drinking the glorious nectar of thy blessed lotus feet, I shall both laugh and dance and weep and sing on the heights of joy. Master, what a nice song. Fountainhead of bliss, fruit of truth, laugh and dance and weep and sing. Your song tastes very sweet to me. Why should you worry? So some point he has found very positive. Pleasure, now he tells the solution. Pleasure and pain are inevitable in this life of the world. One suffers now and then from a little worry and trouble. So mental pleasure and pain also. A man living in a room full of soot cannot avoid being a little state. So you are living in the world. Dada, please tell me what I should do now. Master, chant the name of Hari morning and evening, clapping your hands. Come once more when my arm is healed a bit. So in a normal state, I will examine you and then prescribe. Mahimacharana entered the room and saluted the master. Sri Ramakrishna said to him, he has sung a nice song. To Mahima is telling, please sing it again. For Mahima to hear and for that man to feel devotion again. And Thakur's pleasure. Thakur Dada repeated the song. Master to Mahima, please recite that verse, the one about devotion to Hari. Thakur always likes Mahima Charan to sing that particular hymn. Because otherwise Mahima Charan is intellectually jnana. Mahima Charan recited, quoting from the Narada Pancharatra. What need is there of penance if God is worshipped with love? What is the use of penance if God is not worshipped with love? What need is there of penance if God is seen within and without? What is the use of penance if God is not seen within and without? It does not mean that God should not be worshipped or there should not be penance. But it shows that the essence is God realization. Master, recite that part also. Obtain from him the love of God. Mahima recited. O Brahman, O my child, cease from practicing further penances. Hasten to Shankara the ocean of heavenly wisdom. Obtain from him the love of God, the pure love praised by devotees. So that is the Vaishnava concept. Shiva teaches devotion to Vishnu, which snaps in twain the shackles that bind you to the world. Master. Yes.
Shiva teaches devotion to Vishnu. Shiva teaches devotion to Vishnu or the devotees?
No, does not teach Vishnu. Shiva teaches devotees to have devotion for Vishnu. That is the meaning. Master, he accept that point. Yes, Shankara will bestow the love of God. Mahima. Now he is defining Shiva. One who is free from bondage is the eternal Shiva. Master. So in anybody's spirit, Thakur can flow. Mahima has come, so in his spirit. Master. Shame, hatred, fear, hesitation. These are the shackles. What do you say? Because he said that free from bondage is Shiva. So Thakur narrated these shackles and said, what do you say? Mahima, yes, sir. And also the desire to conceal and shrinking before praise. Actually, there are 8 fetters. Thakur told 4, so he added 2 more. Master, there are 2 signs of knowledge. First, an unshakable buddhi. No matter how many sorrows, afflictions, dangers, and obstacles one may be faced with, one's mind does not undergo any change. It is like the blacksmith's anvil, kutastha that we are called, which receives constant blows from the hammer and still remains unshaken. I hope people know this. We lived in a house for most of my life in home in Lohia Bazar, and we used to see all this around our house. There is an anvil, one iron piece is heated red hot. It is held in a tongue, and by hammer it is struck and given a shape. So that anvil remains the same. And second, manliness. New ideas giving Thakur. Unshakable buddhi and manliness. Very strong grit. If lust and anger injure a man, he must renounce them once for all. If a tortoise once stuck in its limbs, it won't put them out again. You may cut it into 4 pieces. So now, in talking to Mahima, he is indirectly teaching Thakur Dada also, and now he comes directly to Thakur Dada, because he has asked the question. To Thakur Dada and the others, there are 2 kinds of renunciation, intense and feeble. Feeble renunciation is a slow process. One moves in a slow rhythm. Intense renunciation is like the sharp edge of a razor. It cuts the bondage of Maya easily and at once. Now he is giving examples. One farmer labors for days to bring water from the lake to his field, but his efforts are futile because he has no grit. Another farmer, after laboring for 2 or 3 days, takes a vow and says, I will bring water into my field today, and not till then will I go home. He puts aside all thought of his bath or his meal. He labors the whole day and feels great joy when in the evening he finds water entering the field with a murmuring sound. Then he goes home and says to his wife, now give me some oil, I shall take my bath. After finishing his bath and his meal, he lies down to sleep with a peaceful mind. The intense vairagya. And the weak vairagya has told before that he is not able to complete. A certain woman said to her husband, this is an actual happening, huh? So and so has developed a spirit of great dispassion for the world. But I don't see anything of the sort in you. He has 16 wives. He is giving them up one by one. The husband with a towel on his shoulders was going to the lake for his bath. He said to his wife, you are crazy. He won't be able to give up the world. Is it ever possible to renounce bit by bit? I can renounce. Look, here I go. He didn't stop even to settle his household affairs. He left house just as he was, the towel on his shoulder, and went away. That is intense renunciation. They say this about that you have near Belur Math, Lal Baba Ashram.
Oh.
There is another kind of renunciation called, though not two types, third type. Markata Vairagya, monkey renunciation. A man harrowed by distress at home puts on an ochre robe and goes away to Banaras. For many days he does not send home any news of himself. Then he writes to his people, don't be worried about me. I have got a job here. So forgotten. Now, this being addressed to Thakur Damodaran, there is always trouble in family life. The wife may be disobedient. Perhaps the husband earns only 20 rupees a month. He hasn't the means to perform the rice eating ceremony for his baby. This is a special ceremony in India. Rice eating means annaprashan. That means the child in the beginning feeds himself on mother's milk only. Now he has grown, so the time to shift to food comes. So there is a religious ceremony, worshipping God and all that. The house is dilapidated. The roof leaks and he hasn't the money to repair it. Therefore, when the youngsters come here, I ask them whether they have anyone at home. The circumstances. To Mahima, why should householders renounce the world? That means talking about the boys, remember that these people are householders. What great trouble the wandering monk passed through. So he is now describing the wife of a certain man said to him, you want to renounce the world, why? You will have to beg morsels from 8 different homes. But here you get all your food at one place. Isn't that nice? So Thakur calls it fight from the fort. They should fight otherwise. Wandering monks, while searching for a Sadavrata, may have to go 6 miles out of their way. Sadavrata means what is popularly called Chhatra, where food is distributed. I have seen them traveling along the regular road after their pilgrimage to Puri and making a detour to find an eating place. So there is not on the way. So they have to. You are reading householder's life. That is very good. It is like fighting from a fort. There are many disadvantages in fighting in an open field. So many dangers too. Bullets may hit you. But one should, praising the householders, but one should spend some time in solitude and attain knowledge. Hmm. Then one can lead the life of a householder. Janaka lived in the world after attaining knowledge. When you have gained it, you may live anywhere. Then nothing matters. So his praise for householders and all that is with so many riders. He encourages them but warns them. And tells that now and then they also have to go to solitude. Mahima. Sir, why does a man become deluded by worldly objects? Master, it is because he lives in their midst without having realized God. So now direct answer. Man never succumbs to delusion after he has realized God. The moth no longer enjoys darkness if it has once seen the light. This is the example. To be able to realize God, one must practice absolute continence. Oh, you have come here, huh? Sages like Shukadeva are examples of an Urdhva-reta. You understand Urdhva-reta? Reta is the virya. If it goes out through that organ, then it has fallen. If it never goes out, then the energy goes up and becomes ojas. They are called Urdhva-retas. Men of total continence from the beginning. One brahmachari wrongly understood it when he was in his house itself. He tied his organ upwards to his copy. There is another class who previously have had discharges of semen, but who later on have controlled them. A man controlling the seminal fluid for 12 years develops a special power. He grows a new inner nerve called the nerve of memory, Medha Shakti, Medha Nadi. Medha is retentive power, so he says memory. It's not memory. First of all, Dharana Shakti. Granthartha Dharana Shakti is Medha. Now, if you hear some spiritual truth, you must grasp it and retain it. So it is called memory here. The capacity to grasp spiritual truth and to retain it.
Bengali it says smaran.
Memory by retention.
In Bengali it is said smaran. Sharon থাকে.
Manan.
Smaran.
Smaran.
And then it says
But normally Medha is called Granthartha Dharana Shakti. Okay. Through that nerve he remembers all, he understands all. So both things have this. So retains. Loss of semen impairs the strength, but it does not injure one if one loses it in a dream, because he is not at control of that. That semen one gets from food. You understand this point? Excess semen is made because of eating of food. That goes away in dream. Practical. What remains after a nocturnal discharge is enough. But one must not know a woman. So, in daytime, one should not associate with a woman. No, a woman, you understand. I have sex with you. The semen that remains after nocturnal discharge is very refined. The Lahas, not refined example. Huh? The Lahas kept jars of molasses in their house. Every jar had a hole in it. After a year, they found that the molasses had crystallized like sugar candy. That unnecessary watery part had leaked out through the hole. Example for everything from the world. A sannyasi must absolutely renounce women. You are already involved, but that doesn't matter. Hmm? So householders different, sannyasi different. A sannyasi must not look even at the picture of a woman, but this is too difficult for an ordinary man. Saregama pada ni are the 7 notes of the scale. It is not possible to keep your voice on ni a long time. This he has talked about Brahmatna, but now he's talking about sadhaks. To lose semen is extremely harmful for a sannyasi. Therefore, he must live so carefully that he will not have to see the form of it. So he's telling the purpose why he should not see that image itself. He must keep himself away from a woman even if she is a devotee of God. It is injurious for him to look even at the picture of a woman. He will lose semen in a dream, if not in the waking state. He said losing in the dream is not so harmful. But here he means that for a sannyasi that is not allowed. A sannyasi may have control over his senses, but to set an example to mankind, he should not talk with women. On the other side, he must not talk to one very long, even if she is a devotee of God. So, if devotee of God, he can talk, but not for very long. Practical prescription. In Nagpur Ashrama, one brahmachari was appointed to sit on the library counter. And quite a crowd used to come. So my Guruji told him, don't observe first come first. Let the girls be in a different line. And their needs you should meet immediately. Because they have a lot of work at home, etc. like that. You understand? So minimal contact with girls. Living as a sannyasi is like observing the Ekadashi without drinking even a drop of water. We have heard this previously. There are 2 other ways of observing the day. You may eat fruit or take luchi and curry. With the luchi and curry, you may also take slices of bread soaked in milk. Allah. So, further dilution. Smiling. Absolute fasting is not possible for you. Semen. Once I saw Krishna Kishore eating luchi and curry on an Ekadashi day. I said to Hriday, Ridu, I want to observe Krishna Kishore's Ekadashi. All laughed. And so I did one day. I ate my fill. The next day I had to fast. You understand?
Too much.
The podcast I told you. So Thakur's humor also is great. While grave spiritual thing, the devotees who had gone to the Panchavati to visit that yogi came back.
That is.
Sri Ramakrishna saw that. No. Master addressing them. Well, what do you think of him? I dare say you have measured him with your own tape. Because they have seen Thakur, they understand things. Sri Ramakrishna saw that very few of the devotees were willing to give money to that yogi. Master, you don't take a sadhu if you have to give him money. Rajendra Mitra draws a salary of 800 rupees a month. He had been to Allahabad to see the Kumbh Mela. I asked him, well, what kind of sadhus did you see at the fair? Rajendra said, I didn't find any very great sadhu. There, I noticed one, it is true, but even he accepted money. I say to myself, if no one gives money to a sadhu, then how will he feed himself? There is no collection plate here, therefore all come. Generally, after the end of a drama or any performance, there is no fixed fees. They move a plate and people put money there. But that is not there in Thakur's place. And I say to myself, alas, they love their money, let them have it. Thakur is not going to ask. The master rested a while. So, we can stop here. Huh? Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kaviviridhitam Kalmashāpaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhuvi Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.